Hello everyone, my name is SpiderStaryu and I welcome you to Spider Chat. And this is a brand new podcast series that's also released on my YouTube channel where I, Spider, talk all about gaming news, Nintendo games, and more. Now, our special intro music is another Kirby track, and you'll find out why soon. This one is Shiver Star, from, you guessed it, Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. We're in the summer right now, but are you missing winter? This snowy track can get you into that winter Christmas vibe in no time. This one is definitely one of my favorites. This is our second episode, and we'll be revisiting the topic of E3 2007 once more. Unfortunately, our good friend Soul is racing inside his trash can, so he's not available to do this. So I got the next best person. So you may remember this guy from the now defunct Lost Levels podcast. He's done several Kirby podcasts with me. Now introduce yourself.
KirbyVolt!
KirbyVolt, that is right. Yes, it is KirbyVolt. So me and KirbyVolt have done several Kirby podcasts together. We've done Kirby Planet Robobot, we've done Kirby Return to Dreamland, and hopefully more Kirby podcasts in the future, right?
Hopefully. I like talking about Kirby.
Exactly. So basically what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about all of E3. But because we have KirbyVolt here with us today, he loves Kirby a lot, and he can talk a lot more about it than Soul ever could. That's a little bit of shade, but it's true. So we're going to go through almost the exact same order, but we're going to start with the Kirby reveal first. Alright? That makes sense?
I'm good with that.
Yes. So, let's get started right away. So, KirbyVolt, you saw the trailer for Kirby 2018, right?
Yes, I did. I watched the whole direct while I was
The Spotlight.
Yep, Spotlight, but it's like a direct, and then stuff after. I'll call it the E3 Direct Spotlight, directly spotlighting.
Directly spotlighting, exactly. So, what exactly, when you were watching the trailer, what exactly were you thinking?
Well, first off, the few things that were preceding it, I was like, okay, this is kind of starting out pretty decently. And when it went to that weird narrator that they've had for a lot of kind of the more Western Kirby releases, I was like, oh, this isn't really what I think it is it? And then immediately I was just like, Kirby! And my initial thought was, okay, I know there's a third Kirby game coming out this year, according to HAL, because we had the eShop Team Kirby Clash Deluxe, and later this summer we're having Blow Up Blast.
Yes.
But they've teased some other game as well, so I initially thought, oh, it's supposed to be that game, but I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be a 3DS game, and so immediately I just went, that doesn't look like it's on the 3DS. But right away I was like, oh, cool, this is coming for the Switch, is multiplayer, so it's like, it was just a whirlwind of me just being excited and yelling, yay, Kirby, a lot.
That makes sense. You're KirbyVolt. I have a question for you. So I thought that too, like, okay, so we're going to be getting 3 Kirby games this year. We're going to be getting those 2 eShop games, and then we're going to get a Kirby game for the 3DS. So I'm wondering, do you think that this Kirby game for the 3DS is not going to be like an adventure?
That's what I'm curious about, because my understanding, going off of, like, the Miiverse posts that I forget his name off the top of my head, that their main PR guy writes on the Miiverse for Planet Robobot, they kind of discussed that it sounded like it was going to be some kind of fighting-like game that would be released at the end of this year. So that's kind of what I was going off of, but fighting game can be used for many things. I think technically, like, Mario 64 is considered a fighting game because you punch things. It's not really a fighting game, but it can be classified as that. So it's kind of still up in the air. I have no idea, and I'm not still 100% sure if that game they were teasing is meant to also be this Switch game that's coming out. There hasn't really been any official thing on it, because basically it was that reveal, and that was it. And I mean, I'm happy with the reveal, but there's still a lot of details I want to know about everything else that's still coming out.
Right. Hopefully we do get more information about the 3DS Kirby that's going to come soon. But regardless, Kirby 2018, it looks good, right? You can take a heart. So what I was talking about in the previous episode of Spider Chat, it's like you can take a heart and make, like, enemies your friends. It's kind of like similar to Superstar in a way, Kirby Superstar, because, like, you can suck up an enemy, like suck up Knuckle Joe, and make yourself Fighter Kirby, and then you could turn your Fighter Kirby and you like get rid of it, and then you just have like a Knuckle Joe companion with you. and vice versa for all the other Kirby enemies from Superstar. So it's interesting with this game. It's like you can take enemies and make them your friends. So it's just kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. Do you think that there'll be multiplayer, like for like just human players to play with as well?
I don't see why there wouldn't be. From what I was seeing in the trailer, it showed CP at the bottom and it shows everyone's health. So I'm pretty dang sure that's going to mean there's going to be actual multiplayer as well. I mean, they've already done a 4-player multiplayer Kirby game as it is, so it's not like they don't know how to do it at this point.
Yeah,
so I'm pretty
right?
sure they're gonna go for that route. I don't know to what extent. I'm actually kind of happy with the whole mechanic because he throws a little heart at them. And I like that because that way you don't have to sacrifice your own ability to make a partner. You can just make a new partner as you go.
Right, that's a lot better. And do you think that Meta Knight, King Dedede, and Waddle will be playable in this?
I don't know if they'd be playable based on just because it seems like they're going back to the way back of when they were trying to make that GameCube game for Kirby, and that's eventually what became Return to Dreamland. But it seems like they're coming back to visit that idea, saying, okay, hey, people really want to have the helpers back, so maybe we're just going to go that route. With all the helpers back, I'm not sure if DDD, Meta Knight, or Waddle would be necessary to be playable characters, because in themselves, they are just abilities.
Yeah.
King Dedede is just a really souped up hammer. Waddle Dee is at least the one in Turn to Dreamland, is an adorable spear. And Bad Knight's kind of this weird hybrid of wing and sword. So if you are going to have enemies like Birdon or Sword Knight back, and those are going to be helpers, I don't really see the necessity. I feel like they're going to be back. I mean, Kumazaki has had Bandana Waddle Dee in every single game he's worked on, pretty much. So he's going to be back in some capacity. And I'm going to guess DDD and Meta Knight may be back as boss characters.
Or in mini games, right? Because like I didn't like Kirby Triple Deluxe had like tons of like King Dedede mini games, and then Planet Robobot had that game where you could play as Meta Knight, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so they might be back in some form. I do think they'll be in some form, but like I said in the previous episode, I think that I don't think that, like what you were saying, it doesn't make any sense to have them because it's like, especially for Meta Knight, I feel like it's kind of cheap to have two abilities in one. So it's like, why would I get Sword if I can just have Meta Knight? You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. But overall, this game looks really good. The graphics, I mean, hello, Kirby, whoa. Like,
Wispy Wood has never looked better.
Right? Those leaves and everything. It looks like a real tree. And I was replaying Return to Dreamland recently, because I've been playing all the Kirby games recently. I've been playing Return to Dreamland, and I'm starting to get back into Triple Deluxe. I want to talk about Triple Deluxe sometime soon. But what I'm basically saying is that when I was playing Return to Dreamland, and then I look back at the trailer today, it's like, whoa, this is a massive improvement. This is a massive improvement, you know? So...
Well, I think there's actually a lot to just kind of dissect from that. I mean, yeah, there's obviously the partners and whatnot, and I am sad because I do like Dedede, and I'd be happy to have him join me at any time, but I know it's probably not going to be the case. But I think, like, little details people have pointed out. For one thing, clean ability is back. Clean ability has not been in a Kirby game since Dreamland 3, and that's actually awesome to see it back. And one of its attacks actually utilizes one of Kirby's helper friends from Dreamland 2 and Dreamland 3, Nago the cat. So I'm kind of wondering that maybe with some of the older abilities, they might incorporate, like, DDD or Meta Knight into an attack. That would be kind of fun, and a nice way to still keep them there and reference them, because I really like the animal friends, so I'm happy to see that. I also recall water ability is back, which has not been seen since Return to Dreamland, so I'm happy to see that one back as well, because that one is actually super fun to use in Return to Dreamland. Definitely one of my favorites in that game for sure. And then I think the really big thing that people have kind of pointed to, but haven't really discussed a whole lot, is it looks like in some capacity we're going to get the combo ability system back, similar to what we had kind of in Kirby 64, but it seems more akin to how Squeak Squad handled it, in which we have a main ability that then can become an elemental version of it. So a lightning sword, or I think I saw a fire sword, and I think the most interesting thing was stone combined with ice to become, looked like a curling from the curling the sport. That went down the whole place, and that was just like, oh, okay, so it seems like they're pretty much looking at everything that has not been done or has been done previously, and they're trying to pretty much put it into one big package, and that's what excites me the most. Just kind of all the different things that they're taking from to really make this big, giant game. At least that's what it felt to me after watching that trailer.
you know, one thing I applaud about the Kirby games is that I feel like they've kind of been doing it since Triple Deluxe, where it's like they incorporate like older elements, like they incorporate just like little fun like throwbacks into the game, so that like older Kirby fans can be like, oh yeah, I remember that, or oh yeah, that's cool. Like I remember at one level in Triple Deluxe where it's like you can pull out this thing where it's like a whole entire like moral, I don't know how you say it, moral of like
a mural. I know the stage you're talking about too. Yeah.
Of greens, I believe it's like that. Or Kirby Adventure. It was something like that. And they just been keep doing throwbacks, and it's like what you said. It's like, but with this game, Kirby 2018, from what it seems so far, it's like it really is like a mesh of like all the good qualities from different Kirby games. We have a little bit from 64, a little bit from Superstar, and it's like just a whole mesh of all the good stuff. And I'd be interested to see. I wonder if they would have like any elements from Triple Deluxe or Planet Robobot. Like, imagine in one level you can use the mech suit. That would be so cool. I feel like that would be so cool, like a little throwback to Planet Robobot, even though that's been like only like 1 year, 2 years. I feel like it would be cool though to have like a little throwback like that.
Oh, for sure. I'd be up for that as well. I feel like I don't think it's been officially stated, but I'm pretty sure Shinya Kumazaki is directing, so if that's the case, there's definitely going to be throwbacks to Triple Deluxe and Planet Robot in there, because he has thrown throwbacks into his other games just within the other games he's directed. Look at Planet Robot's True Arena for examples on that.
When do you think that this game will come out? Like, we know 2018, of course, but like, do you think early 2018, later 2018? Because this is the year of Kirby. This year we're in right now, 2017. It's the year of Kirby, 25th anniversary. So they deemed this year the year of Kirby. So when do you think that this game will come out? Kirby 2018.
I can't say for certain, and it's possible that may be delayed. Kirby games have been delayed in the past, but my guess, and this is kind of the most optimistic, idealistic guess, would be it would drop right before his 26th birthday.
Ooh.
So sometime in April 2018.
Right, because 26th birthday would have been August, right? Right?
So Kirby's actual birthday is the release of the first Kirby's Dream Land, Hoshi no Kabi, in Japan was actually April 27th, I believe. In the U.S., it's beginning of August.
Yeah, it's somewhere in August.
The specific day, yep. So there's a bit of a gap in between there, but I know as far as Twitter accounts and as far as what they're doing in Japan right now, they have been pretty much celebrating Kirby since that date. So I'm going to guess if they're going to continue the momentum, that's why I'd guess at the end of April, in April 2018, just because that would be kind of like the capstone to say this is the end of Kirby's 25th anniversary. Here's the last like major hurrah.
Oh wow, I didn't think of it that way. You see, this is why we have KirbyVolt on. He knows all this Kirby stuff. I knew when the first Kirby game came out, but I knew it when it came out in the US because my brothers got it then. But you see that it all makes sense that it came out in Japan in April, so that makes sense why it would be like sometime there. So let's wait and see, KirbyVolt. All right, we're gonna see when it comes down to it. We're gonna wait all the way till April, and we're gonna see.
I'm okay with waiting, just because there's already way too many good games coming out this year.
There are a lot of good games coming out, and we're gonna talk a lot more about E3. So before we move on from Kirby, I have I think one more question. If you could take any copy ability from an older Kirby game to return in this game, which copy ability would it be?
That's hard to say, because I've actually brought a lot of the older copy abilities back at this point. I'm trying to think, just old abilities. Clean would have been it.
I can narrow it down, maybe make it easier.
Okay, go ahead.
How about all the copy abilities from Planet Robobot? Which ones would you want to see come back?
Oh, okay. Well, that's not super old. Okay, if we're going with that, then I can easily speak to that. I'd say Planet Robot and Triple Deluxe had two abilities I really liked that have not been seen since then. I mean, technically, this will be the first game after Planet Robot, so if Poison ability, for instance, was back, I'd be cool with that. And otherwise, Beetle ability from Triple Deluxe, I'd love to see that one back as well, because that was a super fun one.
What was the psychic ability called?
ESP.
ESP, that's what I thought.
Yep.
Yes, I love that ability. I would love to see that return. And Doctor, oh my god, Doctor was so funny to use. Those are two abilities that I think would be so cool they can. Honestly, one thing I like about each of these Kirby games is that they have their set of abilities that make the game unique. Mm-hmm. So, quite honestly, I don't think they'll bring back all the abilities from Planet Robobot, because clearly, look what we're seeing. We're seeing cleaning we're seeing cleaning be brought back. We're seeing water be brought back. So
Yeah.
they might not bring everything back, but I hope they bring at least some stuff back. And of course, I hope they bring back Circus, because Circus has been a really fun ability since Triple Deluxe.
Yes.
It's just such a fun ability to use. So, all right, we just have to wait all the way until 2018 to see what exactly we're going to be getting with Kirby 2018.
And we'll hopefully hear more on it soon too.
And hopefully more soon. And you already know KirbyVolt. Like, if there is more and there's like major news, you're coming back on Spider Chat and talking all about it. Okay, you already know.
All right.
You know. Okay, so let's move on from Kirby for now. Goodbye, Kirby. Bye, Kirby. Okay, not KirbyVolt. Kirby himself. Okay, next game is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, do you care anything about the Xenoblade Chronicles or just the Xeno genre in general?
Oh, definitely. Chronicles, I played. I watched initially a Let's Play of it, and I was confused of what the heck was going on. And then a few months after that Let's Play had started, because I'd only been watching in bits and pieces, Shulk was announced for Smash. And then I was like, okay, now I gotta know what the heck's going on here. So I eventually played it later that year, and yeah, I haven't played any of the older Xeno games. I haven't played Xenogears or Xenosaga, but I have a good friend who has kind of told me a lot about them. So I am very familiar with Monolith Soft and their IPs and their games at this point.
Right. So wait. So have you played the one on the Wii?
So Wii was Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles X, or Cross, I guess technically, on the Wii U. Yes, I've played that one as well.
So what are your opinions so far about Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
I'm really curious as to what's going on with it, because Xenoblade Chronicles Cross was kind of its own thing, but it still carried the name Xenoblade in it. And knowing, like, Monolith's history, they made Xenogears, and then there was some kind of legality with that they couldn't make a sequel to it, so then they made Xenosaga, which has episode 1, 2, 3, and they're supposedly going to have more episodes, but did not have the budget and could not request the budget from their publisher, so they had to end it on episode 3. That's when they eventually got bought by Nintendo. But knowing the fact that Xenosaga, at least they're all called Xenosaga, and I won't spoil anything, but Xenoblade Chronicles Cross, there is something very near the end of the game where you kind of go, what the heck? That sounds like something you would have heard in Xenoblade Chronicles, despite the fact that these two have like almost no relation to each other. So, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, my confusion is basically, is this an actual sequel? Is this the continuation of what happens at the end of the first game? Then, like, who knows how many years later? Or is this just its own thing? It's just called Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That's what I want to know right now.
So, for someone like me, I'll be honest, I'm not really interested in the Xeno series in general, Xenoblade Chronicles, any of the games really, but one thing I'll ask is this: how long has the Xeno series been around? Because like, there's been other things, right? Other than Xenoblade, you said Xenogear.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what else is that? Just it? Just Xenogear, or is there more?
Xenogears and Xenosaga. Xenogears was released for the PlayStation back in the late '90s, and Xenosaga was a PS2 RPG series that ran from I think like 2002 until 2007.
Right. Do you think there'll be any references to Shulk in Xenoblade Chronicles 2? I'm really feeling it!
I mean, there already was, just in Cross in of itself. Shulk's voice actor was one of the characters that you could use for your custom avatar, so you could use his voice for one of your characters.
Oh, there we go. You see? You see? There's references already. Alright, so Xenoblade Chronicles 2, is it coming out this year, or is it coming out next year?
It's slated for 2017, and I'm curious as to when, because it's still 2017, but my understanding, based on just kind of watching some of the Treehouse Live footage, is that they're actually much further along than they anticipated, mainly because they already built most of the engine with Xenoblade Chronicles Cross, so they could continue to just make a new game right off that. And from what they were saying, they hope to release it, and I'm going to guess it's going to probably be November or December for that release, just because there's also a major release that happens in October that I'm sure Nintendo's going to put most of their focus on.
Do you think you're going to get the game?
Yeah, I'll get the game for sure.
Oh, okay, awesome. Well, when that game comes out, maybe we'll, maybe I should get it. We'll see. Maybe that'll be the start to my Xenoblade journey, because from what I've experienced from the Xenoblade series so far, I was actually going to download the one on the Wii U. Was it Xenoblade Chronicles X, I believe? And that was going to be, like, a lot of data. It's like, what, you have to download, like, 7 gigabytes of data just to make it work.
Yeah, the Cross had some weird issues. I actually got an external hard drive for my Wii U just because of that, and then I kind of got sad that the Switch was releasing so early compared to the Wii U's lifespan, because I was well, now I have this giant external, it's not doing much, but... Yeah, that was like a weird logistic issue. I'm not sure why that's the case, but if you wanted to play, I'd say play Chronicles. Chronicles X is fun, and it's just a lot of fun to play, but it's extremely confusing, and kind of plays more like a MMO in some regards. It's not an MMO, but it plays like that. If you're to pick up like Chronicles on a new 3DS or something like that, I played the first one because it's much more story-driven and much more character-driven compared to X.
Alright, so... that's it for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Let's move on to something I know very well. We're going to go into the magical world of Pokemon. Now.
Oh boy.
Pokemon, yes. Gotta catch them all. Shinya Takahashi kind of gave us an intro, and he led us into knowing that we're going to be having a Pokemon RPG on the Switch. So, a full-on Pokemon game is going to be on a home console? That's not exactly a home console. It's really interesting. So what exactly you think is going to be going on with this new RPG? You think it's going to be just like a normal Pokemon game, or do you think it's going to be something different?
Well, it's not the first time we've had a full console adventure for Pokemon. We had the Coliseum games back on the GameCube. I don't know. I've heard back and forth on that. My understanding, at least from how I interpret it, was we're just making the next, after Sun and Moon, after the Alola region, the next region Pokemon game set in the same universe as the main series is going to be on the Switch. That's my takeaway from it, but since it was so vague, it could be something completely different, and I'm all for something completely different, just to kind of see where they can go with that, because Alola just got here, and I'm not ready to leave Alola yet.
That's the thing, I was also saying this in the last episode as well. We got Alola in 2016, November 2016. That's when this whole Generation 7 came out. And that's when we got, these new Pokemon games. I feel like it would be incredibly early to release a Pokemon RPG in 2018. Because, to me, when they're implying an RPG on a home console, I kind of see that being a new generation. I kind of see that being, okay, we're moving away from this generation, moving on to the next one, because I don't see how they would be like, okay, we have 2 Generation 7 games on the 3DS, and then we're going to move to the Switch, so it's like, what, we're going to stay in the same generation? Like, I don't really see how much different it would be, so I kind of feel like there's only 2 options that this could be. It could either be a remake of, like, the first generation, because that's kind of been going around for a while now, that it'd be like a Pokemon Yellow remake, which I'm going to ask you about that in a second, not yet, though.
Okay.
Or, yeah, it could just be a completely new generation, Generation 8, which I think would be so crazy, because it's like, what, we've only had, this is the second year we've had, no, the first year, right? Because 2016, it hasn't even been a full year yet.
Yep.
So it would be incredibly early to just be like, bye, Alola, because that would be like one of the shortest generations ever, because I know the only other short generation was like, what, Generation 2? Because I feel like Generation 2, like, it came out like 1999, 2000, and like, what, 2 years? The third generation came out. So like that was kind of a short, like, intermission. So I feel like it'd be very short. Don't you feel like it'd be a very, very, very short time to just be like, oh, new generation?
I think so as well. I know at least with Gen 2 to Gen 3, that's just because technology had changed. By the time Gen 2 came out, the Game Boy was literally at the end before the Game Boy Advance came out, so that I can understand a little bit more. All the other generations, for the most part, from my understanding, have had at least a 4 or 3 year gap in between them. So I would want to have at least that amount of a gap. And I know there's some other Sun and Moon games coming out this year as well that makes me seem like they're kind of expediting the process, but for how different Sun and Moon were, I kind of feel like, why are we just brushing this under the rug so fast? Because those are something that really should be celebrated.
Now, for Sun and Moon, what did you think about, like, the island challenges and things like that? Just a quick little small tangent. What did you think about the island challenges replacing, like, gym battles and things like that?
Oh, I loved it. To be honest, like, I skipped Gen 4 because I just kind of fell out of it. I got back to Gen 5. I really got into Gen 5, and I was super excited. And then Gen 6 came around, which had a remake of my favorite region later on with Hoenn, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But when I think about it, I just kind of look back at X and Y, and I go, these games were kind of boring. And so how Sun and Moon approached it was just nice and refreshing to me, that I was like, I actually am really excited to be playing this. I have no idea where this is going for once, and it had a lot more going for it, I felt. And so I was really excited to kind of keep going into that, and I'm kind of sad that I have finished pretty much everything to do in that game.
You've done a lot with Sun and Moon, but we're going to move on to the next topic, and it kind of relates to it. So, Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, they were not revealed at E3, but I thought, why not talk about it? We talked about it in the last episode. You like Pokemon, right, KirbyVolt? Mm-hmm. Why not talk about it? So, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are going to be coming out for the 3DS this year. November 2017, I believe. Yep. So, we're already going to be getting a second rehash of Sun and Moon. How do you feel about that?
So I'm a little confused on what they're doing with this, because it seems to me that they're pulling what the Gen 5 did with Black, White, and with Black 2 and White 2, and I'll be honest, those are some of my favorites of the sprite-based Pokemon games. Just Black 2 and White 2 built off the first one so well, so I was like, okay, that's cool. But it seems like these aren't sequels. They're just a different retelling of essentially the same story, I guess. And I guess in that regard, it's more like a Crystal or a Platinum. And I'm kind of just like, I'm not sure what they're going for with this, but I am very curious about it just because I would like to visit that region again. I would say, however, my only kind of discrepancy with it is, in this day and age, for that kind of thing, I feel like that could just be DLC as opposed to just making a new game. Yeah. But I'm sure they have the reasoning for it, or maybe it's just so different that it does really live up to that title. I know the legendaries are taken over by some other thing now, so I'm kind of curious about that. But other than that, I'm kind of like, okay, and if this is basically the same thing except with some different plot beats here and there, to me it won't be much different than, say, a Pokemon Yellow or a Pokemon Crystal.
Right. But with these, I feel like they're going to be talking more about the Ultra Beasts, because I feel like at first when I thought Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, that sounds like the most ridiculous title ever.
I never thought about that, actually.
You never thought about it? Oh my gosh.
No, I didn't even realize that. So, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, okay, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Oh, so with the Ultra Beast, that kind of makes sense. So maybe they're going to expand more on the Ultra Beast, because they kind of, in this Sun and Moon, they kind of just like, oh, there's an alternate universe where you can catch these different looking Pokemon called Ultra Beasts. And it's like, oh, okay. And that's it. We didn't get a full explanation. I feel like they could expand on that so much more with this game, and I hope they do, because I feel very weirded out that we have these Ultra Beasts, and it's just like, yeah, they're from a different dimension. There's so many Pokemon that are from different dimensions. They're from space. They're from the sky, the ocean. There's many different places these Pokemon are from. So I really hope they expand more on the Ultra Beasts. Now, KirbyVolt, which copy did you get? Sun or Moon?
Sun.
You got Sun. So are you going to be getting Ultra Sun?
Yeah, I'll probably stick with it, because I like Solgaleo. I'm not a big fan of bats, so that's pretty much the reason I didn't go for Moon.
Oh, as a bat, I'm offended. No,
I'm
just
sorry.
kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm not really a bat, I'm a spider. Come on, let's be real. But for me, I'm going to be getting Ultra Moon because I got Moon, so I'm just kind of keeping the pattern. And I feel like that kind of makes sense, because I feel like it'd be a little weird being like, I got Moon, but then I got Ultra Sun. It's like, it just feels kind of weird, so I'd rather get the same exact title, you know what I mean? So, but hopefully this game is a little bit different, because I feel like, do you feel like there's a chance that there could be gym leaders in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon?
I don't feel like gym leaders themselves. I feel like there's some of the trail captains that didn't do much in the first game, and we might see more of them. And I know, at least based on one of the post-game things you can do after you beat the game initially, did dive into the Ultra Beast a little bit more. I'd be kind of more interested to see more of that and kind of expand upon that, because that also happened to involve one of my favorite characters, so I'd want to see more of him.
And also, in the area, I remember in many different cities they had this blank area where Machamps were working on something. You know what I mean? In some cities. Yeah. So that's why I kind of brought up the gym leader thing, because I thought maybe they're working on that. What else do you think they could possibly be working on? Because I feel like it'd be silly to be like, oh, they're working on something, but then we never know what they were working on. Something has to be there. Maybe a hut where you can A hut, wow. You know what I mean? Like a little place where you can meet like all the island challenge people and like challenge them to
Yeah,
Pokemon battle. I feel like something like that would make sense because I think they did that in Black. Well, I said the same thing you said earlier. Wow.
yeah,
Black 2 or White 2. Didn't they do that where it's like there was this
yeah.
like place where you can battle all the gym leaders or something like
They
that?
had the they had the Pokemon World Tournament, and after you
Yeah.
had beaten the game, you could challenge any gym leader, any Elite Four member, and any champion from that current generation and all previous generations. So you could battle Giovanni if you wanted to.
Yeah, that was really cool. So if they did something like that, I feel like it'd be just really cool to just have something like that. I don't know though, but you know, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon is going to be coming out this year. We're definitely going to be getting more information about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see if they're going to add more Mega Evolutions because this
I'd
generation,
want that too.
right? Because this generation did not add any Mega Evolutions. So KirbyVolt, I have a question for you. If you could have any Mega Evolution for any Pokemon, any generation, like which ones would you choose? You can choose more than one if you want.
Okay, well, my initial instinct was I've really grown attached to Audino, and then I went, oh, Audino already has a Mega Evolution. We're good. As silly as it sounds, and it makes no sense, I want Mega Evolution for Oshawott.
Oshawott? What?
Yes.
Why not Samurai? That's his final form.
But Oshawott's adorable, and I feel like that would give you that would kind of bring in like a gimmick of you can have Mega Evolutions of not fully evolved Pokemon, and so you have to make your choice. Do you want to use the Mega Evolution, or do you want to evolve them?
I feel like that would be interesting if they did do that, but I definitely don't ever see that happening.
I just want Mega Evolution for Oshawott.
For me, it's all you already know. I love Staryu and Starmie. I want a Mega Evolution for Starmie. I really feel like they could just expand on Starmie and just make Starmie just so much more of a threat. Like just boost that speed, boost that special attack, and just boost the defense like just a little bit, and Starmie will just wreck people because Starmie, you know, with every generation of Pokemon, it's normal that, you know, some Pokemon just are not as good as the new ones because the new ones have great abilities, they have just different move sets and stuff. Because I'm just saying, like, sometimes like Pokemon from older generations just don't make the cut. Does that make sense? Because I play Pokemon competitively, so I go through the Pokemon tiers and things like that. So I just feel like some Pokemon don't make the cut to be competitive. Of course, Starmie's still there, but it's like he's not the best of the best like he used to be. So I feel like a Mega Evolution would be really cool. And one more Pokemon I would love a Mega Evolution for is Sunflora. Now, let me explain this. Okay. So, from Generation 2, Sunflora is one of my most favorite Pokemon ever. And this was back before I did competitive play or anything like that. It's just back when like I had a what was it called? Gold on the Game Boy Color, right? I had that on the Game Boy Color, and I would play it, and I would love using Sunflora because I just, you know, as for someone like me, I love flowers and things like that. I think they're really cool. So Sunflora looked just like a sunflower, and sunflowers were my favorite. Because I remember, like, back then I would even grow some when I was younger, so I was like, oh, I love sunflowers. So Sunflora, oh, perfect. So it would be really nice for me to have a Sunflora Mega Evolution where it makes it just stronger so I can use it more because I can't play Pokemon with other people and use Sunflora because it's just really slow and it just dies really quickly. You know what I mean? Like it's just any attack like gets it because it's really slow and all you need to do is like freaking use Blaziken and just Flare Blitz and oh, it's gone. So I just want them to make Sunflora faster and better with a Mega Evolution. Those are my two answers. But KirbyVolt, do you have any answer other than Oshawott? Come on, there has to be a fully evolved Pokemon you think would be cool to have Mega Evolution.
No, my top three favorite Pokemon are Oshawott, Audino, and Hoopa. And Hoopa's a legendary, and I don't think he's gonna get a Mega Evolution anytime soon.
Which Hoopa form is your favorite? The normal one or the alternate form?
The normal one, because he's adorable and he's a mischievous little donut guy.
Oh, okay. So I feel like your type of Pokemon is the ones that are cute and more adorable. Am I correct? Okay, that's fair. That's totally fine. We all have our different tastes of Pokemon.
Okay, wait. I thought of one. Okay, because he's been a staple since I played Gen 3, and everyone has asked for it. Where the heck is a Mega Evolution for Flygon?
Flygon! Oh my gosh! Yeah, a Mega Evolution for Flygon would be perfect. One thing I found interesting about Flygon, isn't his ability like levitate? It's
Yes.
like it's kind of not really the most useful ability for him, but I feel like they could what could they do with Flygon? Anytime they do Mega Evolution, as long as they increase the speed and they increase the attack, it's automatically better. Regardless of defenses or anything like that, as long as it's faster, it can just knock out those other Pokemon. Flygon would be cool. What do you think it would look like? Do you have like any idea?
I don't know. I just want it to look cool and not look silly.
Just look cool, not look silly. Are you saying Flygon looks silly?
No, not at all. Flygon looks awesome as he is. I just don't want him to be... I think there's a few Mega Evolutions I've seen, I'm just like, oh, okay, that's... Like I like Gengar, okay. And I see his Mega Evolution, I'm just like, can he not... Is he part of the floor now? I'm confused as to where his body is and where the floor is.
I don't know if you know this, but for this new generation of Pokemon, they actually made some Pokemon stronger, and they changed the stats, and they've added some movesets. Like I don't know if you know this Pokemon. Its name is Surskit. It's a little flying bug. You know it?
Yeah, Surskit becomes Masqueraden.
Yeah, Masquerade. Okay, Masquerade, that's what I was talking about. Thank you for that correction. I was saying Surskit is the flying one. Whoops. How am I saying, do you know it, and I forget it? What the heck?
Because it's
Masquerade.
Gen 3, and I know Gen 3 and Gen 5 really well.
Alright, thank you for the correction. I appreciate it. Masquerain. I love Masquerain. They actually made Masquerain stronger. They increased its speed, and they increased its special attack, so it's a little bit stronger now. So they did it for a lot of Pokemon. But for Gengar, the point I was trying to get at, Gengar, they removed its levitate ability. So now Gengar can be hit by ground moves. And in its normal form and its Mega Evolution form. So I just wanted to bring that up to your attention in case you didn't know.
Okay, well, it's part of the floor now if you Mega Evolve it, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. We could talk about Mega Evolutions all day. We need to do like a podcast about Mega Evolutions. So, just really quickly before we drop this Mega Evolution talk, it's fine to go on a tangent because we're talking about Pokemon. My favorite Mega Evolutions are, from the ones that are in the game, are Mega Beedrill. I love Mega Beedrill, and I like a Mega Lopunny. That's how you say it, right? Lopunny?
I think so.
Yeah, it's the bunny. You know what I'm talking about. Bunny. It becomes part fighting type. It's really good. Really, really strong. So those are my two favorites. So your favorite is Audino, right? Mega Audino?
Yeah, Audino for one, and the other one, as I don't play competitively, so I'm not sure how crazy this is, but I just liked... Story-wise, in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, I like Mega Rayquaza. I really like his design and just how crazy he is.
Yeah, and he's really good, too, competitively. Very good. Alright, so let's kind of move on. We're not done with Pokemon just yet, but I have two questions for you when it comes to remakes in general. Alright, so really quickly, before we get to this, let's talk about this. Pokemon Yellow remake. Do you see that happening anytime in the future? Because Let me give you my little theory first before you answer. So Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow, they were all released for the 3DS a while ago as like eShop games for $9.99. Pokemon Yellow is one of the most popular eShop games ever. really quickly, it became one of the most popular eShop games, most bought, everything like that. Pokemon Yellow. So do you feel like with all this like a Alolan form of Generation Pokemon and Generation 1 Pokemon, and then this being the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, do you think that they would make a Pokemon Yellow remake?
I'll go through a curveball and say not Yellow. They're going to remake Pokemon Green.
Green? Green? What's green? Like the very, 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 very first ones?
Yeah, because in Japan it was red. It was initially red and green.
Yeah, but they already remade it. It was Leaf Green and Fire Red.
But wasn't it because Blue technically they fixed issues in the original one, and so Fire Red and Leaf Green were technically more so remakes of Red and Blue than the original Japan Red and Green.
Yeah, but they weren't. The first games weren't really that much different. With Yellow, the difference was that Pikachu was following you around, and then Team Rocket was more involved. Jesse and James were more involved, so that was the difference. It was more like the show, pretty much. So I don't know. This next one, Gold and Silver, is coming to the 3DS. Does this interest you at all? Gold and Silver?
I'm gonna surprise a lot of people and maybe make them upset, but growing up, I played Red and Blue and I played Gold and Silver, and I got super bored of Gold and Silver. I did not really care for them that much, to be honest. Ruby and Sapphire is where I got really excited and into the games again. So I've pretty much learned that I do not like the even generation Pokemons for the most part. I think they're fine, but I don't find them as enticing as the odd generations.
I'm gonna send a swarm of sunflowers to take you down. Are you serious?
There's a lot of good Pokemon in Gen 2, do not get me wrong. It's just, I did not find Johto that exciting, and going back to Kanto was, I guess that's cool, but I was just there in Red and Blue, so I didn't really care to go back there that quickly.
Well, it can't be helped. That's just your opinion. That's fine, though. Alright, so, that's it for Pokemon. We're going to move on to Metroid. So we got 2 brand new Metroid games. Metroid Prime 4, going to be coming out in 2018, and Metroid Samus Returns. Yes, Metroid Samus Returns for the 3DS. That'll be coming out this year, actually, in September. So, yes, KirbyVolt, do you like the Metroid series?
I've played Super Metroid and Federation Force. That's about it. I'm not super big into the Metroid series, but I really love Super Metroid, and Federation Force was fun.
No wonder you're not super into the Metroid series if you played Federation Force.
It's not a bad game. It's a pretty good game, actually.
Okay, so does Metroid Prime 4 interest you at all? Like, the fact that they're making a new one? That was a big announcement.
Not really. Like, that was just kind of like, oh, okay, I guess they're doing that. I'm cool with that. I was more interested in, like, oh, a remake of the Metroid 2 for the Game Boy. That's cool.
Okay, wow, okay. So this Metroid Prime 4 thing is going to be really quick. But for Samus Returns, so you only played Super Metroid and Metroid Prime Federation Force. You never played Metroid 2 Return of Samus.
No, I never played the original Metroid or Metroid 2 or Metroid Fusion.
Oh my god, those are some of the best ones. KirbyVolt, come on! But Samus Returns, so do you think that you would get that game as someone who's not really big into Metroid? Do you think that would interest you, maybe pick it up?
If I have the time and the super interest into it, I'm kind of more just like, that looks really neat, but as it is, since Super Metroid was the first one I played, and that one was super hyped up, as it was going through that game, it was like one of the few games I've played that was super hyped up, that lived up to the hype, that I'm just kind of like, Super Metroid is such a good game in of itself, I don't really know why I should bother playing other ones if this one's already at like a super good level of perfection.
Right.
That's my take on it, at least.
Well, something you understand about me is that I stan Metroid. I am one of the biggest Metroid fans in this whole entire world. What was your opinion? I have a question because you don't really like Metroid that much, but I thought I would ask you this because you said you like Metroid Prime Federation Force.
Mm-hmm.
What was your opinion back in what, like 2015? I don't really know exactly the year, but what was your opinion when like everyone was going crazy about Federation Force, where there were like petitions to get it canceled, there were a lot of dislikes on YouTube, there was a lot of hate going on from Federation Force. What was your opinion about all that?
So I guess to double clarify, I actually own Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Wii U, and I just got bored with the first Prime, so that's why I stopped playing. I basically got Federation Force because it was getting all this backlash. Because I'm just like, is this backlash legit, or is it just people are getting upset because they're just getting upset? And honestly, I think people are just getting upset because they wanted to be upset about something. It was different. It's not what exactly you wanted, but it seems like the devs really wanted to do this idea, and they had a lot of fun doing it. And I've had a lot of fun actually playing either with random people online or with just friends.
It's hard to hear this, to be honest. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm a big Metroid fan, so when someone says that they like Federation Force, I'm like, why do you like Federation Force? But it's fine. It's just an opinion. That's totally fine. We all have opinions. That's okay. Whew, it's just my opinion is Federation Force is the best game ever. No, it's not. It's not. From my personal opinion. So let's move on from Metroid. Wow, I never thought a Metroid part for me would ever be that quick. Yoshi 2018. What's your opinion about Yoshi 2018?
I'm glad they got Good Feel back to do the game, because Woolly World was really good, and it seems like they finally figured out how do we make a good Yoshi game. Let's just get these guys to make it, because the previous Yoshi games have kind of been hit or miss.
Yeah, like Yoshi's New Island.
Yep.
Was that a hit or a miss? Because that was a miss.
That was mostly a hit. No, miss.
I
think hit profit-wise, but there's a reason why Miyamoto, back when they were making Super Mario World 2, was like, no, let's not do the Donkey Kong Country style for graphics for Yoshi, because it looks pretty ugly. Yes.
The graphics for that game was very, very hideous. And Woolly World's graphics were a lot better in terms of just, like, nice atmosphere, yarn everywhere. That was nice. I think Woolly World was kind of boring a bit. but it overall was definitely better than New Island. That's for sure. That's for super sure. The only thing I liked about New Island was that giant egg you could fire. That I love that. That was my favorite thing. The giant egg you could fire. Remember where it's like it bounce off, like ricochet off walls and things like that. That was my favorite part of the game. But anyway, Yoshi 2018. So everyone was kind of paying attention more so to Metroid when this
and me, I saw that big 4 and I went go back to Kirby.
Oh my gosh! What the heck? KirbyVolt!
Actually, to be honest, the majority of the E3 after they showed that Kirby trailer, I just went, go back to Kirby, please.
Oh my!
Excluding one thing that I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, did we already talk about it?
No, we haven't.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about it soon. You tell us when we get to the topic, please. So for Yoshi 2018, I'm probably gonna get it because it does look like it could be interesting, like just kind of like the graphics and stuff. It could be interesting. But I don't know. I just wasn't super excited for it. That's all I'm gonna say. I just wasn't super excited for it. But
I think it's going to have the same appeal that if people are fans of Yoshi, they're going to like it. I feel like there's probably people with the Kirby trailer who are probably similar, that there's kind of like, oh, okay, that exists, that's cool, and probably just moved on from it. I know my friend, a good friend and I, we both played Woolly World together, and that was a lot of fun, and I know that he likes the Yoshi games pretty much, so if it's going to be another co-op game, which it looks like it is, I'm pretty sure that if he gets it, I'll just be playing it with him, and that'll be a lot of fun in its own right.
Alright, so 2018, Yoshi 2018. Fire Emblem Warriors is the next game that was revealed. What's your opinion of Fire Emblem Warriors? Do you like the Dynasty Warrior games in general?
Yes and no.
Yes and no?
There's a good way to do it, and there's a bad way to do it. And I've played the bad way first, and I've seen the good way, and from what I've seen of FE Warriors, they've picked the bad way, so I have no interest in that game whatsoever.
Ooh, shade. To be honest, I'm not really interested in Fire Emblem Warriors, just like I'm not interested in any of the Warrior games, because to me it's like pointless hack and slash, like just, like you can play this game mindlessly.
And see, that's the bad way to do it. There's a good way to do it, and I was hoping with Fire Emblem already being the tactics game that it is, that they could implement that better into the game, but it doesn't look like that's the case.
The only thing I find interesting so far is the graphics, and the graphics look really good. And then Chrome, whatever the heck his name is, freaking Chrome Prom. Marf is speaking English in there. It's really cool. They also had a Corrin, right? Female Corrin. I saw female Corrin. So it's and the characters can be interesting. If there's like cutscenes, I'll definitely watch on YouTube. But I'm not getting the game, and it doesn't look like you are either. All right, next game: Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild expansion pass. Did you buy Breath of the Wild, KirbyVolt?
I played way too much of that game.
Did you enjoy Breath of the Wild?
It's actually probably become one of my favorite Zelda games, in all honesty.
Oh. So, really quickly, just a little backstory. Have you played previous Zelda games? Have you been a fan of Zelda for a while, or is it just...
Yeah, I've liked a lot of the Zelda games. There's a few ones I've kind of been with, but I've liked the majority of the ones I've played.
Alright, so you played a majority of this game. Have you beat Breath of the Wild? Quote-unquote beat?
Yeah, I've... get to the ending, yes. Find every Korok seed, no. Do everything there is to do, no. But I've done a good chunk of everything that there is to do.
Alright, that's good. So does the expansion pass excite you at all? There's like 2 expansion passes. Do any of them like make you interested in getting one of them, maybe?
Well, I've actually already pre-ordered the download thing since that was available on day 1.
You did?
Yeah, I was curious, and I got a nice Nintendo Switch shirt playing on my Wii U copy of the game.
Well, you have a Wii U copy?
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't have it on the Switch?
Nope, I don't have it on the Switch.
Okay, so the expansion pass is also for the Wii U?
Yes, it's for both.
What the heck? I didn't even know. I thought it was just for the Switch. Wow.
No, I could see some people being upset with that if that was the case. As far as the expansion passes, the first one, I'm not super interested in hard mode. I think it's called something different, but it's basically just a hard mode, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. I like the whole pathway thing that they were showing off, and especially if it's actually going to be able to backtrack everything that I've done in the game previously, because I know the intent of it is find places you haven't been, but I just want to watch a silly line get drawn of all the stupid things I was doing.
Okay, so you think you're gonna get the second one, right? The second pass. You got that.
I'm gonna get both. I'm gonna get both of them. I already have the first pass
okay.
because you could get them together, and that's what I did. So
Okay, that makes sense.
The first path also has that Trial of the Sword thing, which looks like a bunch of kind of shrine-like areas with the caveat of you start with literally nothing. And I'm like, I could kind of go for that again. I'd be interested in seeing something like that and just kind of how well I can do in that type of environment. Especially with some of the other items that have been introduced. Maybe if they get used in that, I don't know. But at least I will get to prance around as Link in a Tingle outfit, and that is A+ material to me.
That is disturbing material for me. But anyway, just kidding. So it also revealed some Legend of Zelda amiibo. Does amiibo interest you at all?
Yes.
KirbyVolt? Oh, okay.
I don't tell anyone. I already ordered all 4 of them.
What? What the heck? You're like one step ahead of everything. Oh my gosh. You really are. I didn't think you would have the expansion pass and the amiibo. So you have.
Well, I don't have the amiibos yet because the amiibos are apparently not going to be out until December. But I was
but you could pre-order amiibo. What the heck?
It's at different retailers, and the retailer I went through this time is not one I usually go through. So I'm kind of like, it's here. So I'm just going to trust that it's here and go for it because I want the amiibo.
So, are you allowed to say what retailer that was, or is it a secret?
No, because it was Walmart, and I just saw it because I follow a lot of like Amiibo and Nintendo news sources on Twitter, so I just saw like, hey, this is up at Walmart, and I'm like, okay, I've been watching these at Best Buy, and they're not ready yet, so I'll just go and get them here, because I just want to get them, because I know with some of them, they're just super rare. Like, I really wanted to get the Zelda Amiibo for Breath of the Wild, but I have no idea where the heck you can find that at this point, so I was like, well, dang it, I like all the champions, I just want to give all of them, just all of them. I like them, and if they have any functionality with the game, especially with that second expansion pass where it's apparently going to focus on the champions, I'd be very up for that.
Have you gotten any amiibo before, like Smash Bros. Amiibo? Did you get a Kirby amiibo?
Most of the Smash amiibo based on characters I like, and characters I like in Smash is about 70% of the cast, so that's a lot of.
Oh my gosh!
I have 2 more in July coming because Corrin and Bayonetta. So, and yeah, I have all the Kirby amiibo as well because I should have all the Kirby amiibo.
Yeah, you definitely should have all of the Kirby amiibo. That would be a sin if you didn't. Alright, next, we're going to be moving on to... Alright, so we're going to move on to this portion. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. What are your opinions about this? Because I wasn't too interested in this, so I'd be interested to see if you're interested in Mario plus Rabbids.
I was honestly for the longest time thinking it was a hoax, and it wasn't. I was very surprised that Ubisoft was actually developing it, and that they got Grant Kirkhope to compose the music for it. That's kind of crazy, just like a bunch of different hodgepodges. Gameplay-wise, are you familiar with the game XCOM?
No.
Okay. It's similar to that. I've never played it myself. Another game that was released a few years earlier that's kind of similar, not the same thing, but similar, would have been codenamed Steam on the 3DS. So it's kind of a similar thing. It's a strategy game, but the strategy is about taking cover and shooting enemies. And sure, I think for me, just like looking at it, it's like, you have 8 playable characters, and I'm like, guys, if you're gonna do something silly, you missed a good opportunity for Waluigi. Just saying.
True,
yeah. Could have used Waluigi here if you're gonna have the crazy rabid things, but I'm not super interested in it. I know that there's people who are, and I've heard that people have said, like, don't judge it based on the fact of how dumb the idea is. The gameplay's actually really fun, and that's cool, but it's not something that super interests me entirely.
I understand that, because for me, when I saw this, I'm just like, oh my god. Because I'm gonna be real, I don't really like the Rabbids games, because the Rabbids annoy me.
Not many people do.
But they keep making them. It's like they think people love them. Clearly someone's buying these games. Maybe the freaking people working at the company are buying the games and just... Yeah, they keep buying their own games. They're like, go to GameStop and like buy like 10 of them. Because I don't know who buys these games. I don't like these Rabbit games. They annoy me.
Rayman's buying the game, so he can't be in a game again because he doesn't want to be in any more games.
Right, because it's like, oh my god, these games annoy me so much. And it's like, it's also like this because I understand like some series are popular for a reason, like Despicable Me, like with their minions. You know, it's kind of annoying, yeah, but I understand because the minions are like little cute, like yellow creatures, and they have like big eyes. And I understand, like they're cute, but the rabbits, I don't understand what's cute about them. They look freaking hideous. They have big mouths. Their eyes are like bulging out of. You know, I don't understand what's really cute about them. I don't see anything.
I don't really see that either. And,
I don't see the charm, the appeal. That's what I mean.
Yeah. And the Rabbids have been around for longer. At least I can say with Despicable Me movies, the Minions had one movie on their own, which is like whatever. But the Minions are usually taking a back seat to the main characters in the Despicable Me movies anyway. Whereas it seems that Ubisoft like really loved these Rabbids, and they just kind of went, bye Rayman, kicked him out, and just started doing other things with him. Luckily, Rayman had one last good game that was released 4 years ago now, but I kind of more just like, because the Rabbids appeared initially in a Rayman game. They were supposed to be like the antagonists. They were supposed to be like these weird, creepy rabbit things, and they were just like, let's just make it a party game instead, and that's how the Rabbids came to be, and that's why it's kind of like, okay. I don't know why they want them. I don't know why they're doing it, but I know that Nintendo is like, yeah, it's okay. I know the developer who's making the game literally broke down in tears watching the presentation of it at the Ubisoft press conference when he saw Miyamoto come on stage holding the Mario gun thing. So...
Oh my god, how sweet is that? No, not for me. Alright, so that's it for rabbits, because if I talk anymore about rabbits, I'm going to throw up, because I don't like these rabbits. Moving on. Rocket League was revealed. So Rocket League, that's a game that's been out for a while. It's on Steam. I think it's also on other consoles, I believe, but it's on Steam. You can get it. But it's coming to the Switch, and the cool thing about it is that it's cross-platform, so you can play with people who have it on Xbox, who have it on Steam on their computer. So that's pretty cool, you know. And if you get the version of the Switch, you can get like a little car with a Mario hat, Luigi hat. So I think that's the redeeming quality to buy on the Switch. Have you ever played Rocket League, KirbyVolt?
Not really. It's another game that doesn't really interest me that much, but I understand its appeal. So I think just kind of from a third-party perspective, it's great that Nintendo is getting that right away, and that the devs are super excited to even be making it for a Nintendo console, and that it is cross-platform. So in a sense, like this is pretty much, if they're going back to the silly console world thing, it's kind of like Nintendo is really still having the edge on some things in this regard. So that's kind of neat in the run, right?
Yeah, and I'm going to be getting this game because I play this game with my friends from the Lost Levels podcast, Dark Boo, Super Zambizzy. I played it with them for a long time. And the reason why I want to get on the Switch is because sometimes the game lags on my computer, and it's because my computer specs aren't the greatest. So if I got it, you know, just on like a console, I wouldn't have to worry about like those random lagging moments. So that's why I want to get on the Switch. So when it comes out, I'm getting it. Alright, so we waited a long time, but we finally got to the main portion that we've all been waiting for.
And this is when I stopped saying, go back to Kirby.
Right. Super Mario Odyssey! Wow, Super Mario Odyssey. Yes, Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch. They revealed a whole trailer on it, and then basically they spent the whole time at Treehouse. Well, not the whole time, but most of the time playing Super Mario Odyssey and showing off a lot of that game. So KirbyVolt, what were your first thoughts of Super Mario Odyssey when you first saw it?
So the initial trailer, because I was watching another friend of mine, we first started off and we see that realistic like T-Rex, so we weren't sure if it was T-Rex or not. My first thought was, is this Monster Hunter? And then right away the hat showed up and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then the music starts up and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm excited, because the initial trailer for Odyssey back in January when we saw it, I was like, that looks cool. But there's a way to, there's a good way to do proper hype, and like that trailer was like, oh, okay. The song itself has been stuck in my head for the last week because that's a really gosh darn good song, and everything they're showing off, from like Mario's new capture ability to all the different things that are in the game, at least that they were able to show currently, I was like, okay, now I'm excited. I'm not usually excited for Mario games, but I'm actually very excited for this game.
Yes, Super Mario Odyssey. So, what we saw the whole thing. We got a whole explanation about Cappy, how, excuse me, how Cappy can possess things. First and foremost, he's possessing Mario's hat. And he can possess things so that Mario can turn into that. So Mario can freaking possess a flag. Oh, no, not possess. They call it capture. Capture. That's what they use. But it's basically possess.
Retweet to people say, no, it's capture. And I'm going to call it that just to be polite.
Yes, but it's basically possessing.
Capture. Just a play on words.
I get the play on words. So basically Mario can like capture a flagpole. He can capture a car. He can capture a bullet bill, capture a Goomba. There's so many things he can capture. I think that's the cool thing about it, is that there's going to be lots of exploring when it comes to this game. So we get to see, like, oh, can he capture that? Can he capture a window? Can he capture, like, a freaking baseball bat? Just capturing everything, you know? So I see lots of potential with this game. And when I saw the different environments, you know, it looks like a very solid game. Mm-hmm. Very solid game. So, KirbyVolt, I have a question for you. Do you know who Donkey Kong is?
Yeah, I know who Donkey Kong is.
Alright, because some people don't know who Donkey Kong is. My friend Soul, he doesn't know who Donkey Kong is still. Do you think Donkey Kong will appear in this game?
It's called New Donk City, and Pauline's the mayor. If Donkey Kong doesn't show up, I'm going to be a little upset.
Right, because that'll be a missed opportunity. And you gotta understand something about me, KirbyVolt. I am a huge Donkey Kong fan. I am a Donkey Kong connoisseur. I'm a Donkey Kong master. I am Donkey Kong everything. Alright, do you see my Twitter icon?
So then my question back to you, sorry to cut you off, is did you catch the Donkey Kong theme in that song in the trailer?
Yes, I did! Absolutely! Of course I did. I captured it immediately. Or when I first heard it, I saw it immediately. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a reference! And I was typing all about it on my Tumblr. And I'm just so excited for this game. And New Donk City, that's going to be my city. That's where I live. I live on Dixie Street, okay? I live on Dixie Street on Cranky Avenue, okay? I live on Dixie Street on Cranky Avenue and on the Donkey Kong borough. I'm all about New Donk City. I'm all about it. So I cannot wait to explore it. And I hope they have Donkey Kong in it, but I hope they don't make Donkey Kong like this super bad guy like Bowser. Because, you know, I expect something. I don't expect them to just be doing nothing. Come on. I expect him to do something bad, because he's Donkey Kong. Look at all the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games where he just captures Pauline, and he's all so sorry about it. But, I expect something about Donkey Kong, something positive. And wow, this kind of, like, went to a reverse interview. Like, you just asked me a question. Wow. It's really interesting how the tables turn. So, KirbyVolt, I want to ask you, what interests you about this game the most? Is it just the capturing, or what are you interested in? The worlds? Like, what?
I'm very interested in the worlds, and I just want to know where that song from the trailer plays in the full game, because I love that song a lot. Like, that's literally what's got me the most hyped, is that one gosh darn song.
It's a good
song. I'm also excited for, like, all the different outfits he's going to get to wear, and part of me is hoping, although I highly doubt it, but if Pauline's in the game, and she hasn't been in a main Mario game, like, technically ever, then maybe we'll have some other cameos along the way. Maybe, you know, some kind of world that's like a spaceport or something. Get Rosalina back in the game for a little bit just to say hi. Or, you know, just go back to the default of, there's Waluigi. There he is. He's in a platformer game. It's not a sports game. There's Waluigi. He's just walking around town.
I would be interested to see Pauline and Peach interact. Because I feel like that would be so different, because they've said for many years that Pauline and Mario are close friends, but I don't know exactly what that means. Like, you know, they're just friends, best friends, you know, the friend zone, whatever the case is. So I just think it'd be interesting to see, like, how Pauline and Peach would interact with each other. Like, would they like each other? Would they have a problem with each other? Because so far, you know, what I know about Peach, you know, she's really friendly, so I don't really see that, oh, she'd have, like, this major problem. But, you know, this whole entire game is opening up a whole entire new world for Pauline to be in more Mario games. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, we had Super Mario Galaxy, and that opened up, like, we get introduced to Rosalina, and that opened up a whole world for Rosalina. She's in Mario Kart Wii, Smash Brothers, Super Mario 3D World. That opened up a whole entire thing for her because she was so popular. And I really feel like this could open up a whole entire thing for Pauline, because it's like, we haven't had her for many years, and we keep getting her in, like, these small Mario vs. Donkey Kong games. So that could open up a whole new world, and that could be interesting. But overall, what are your, like, final thoughts about this? Like, what exactly are you hoping for this game?
I want to know if there's actually going to be a wedding at the end, because I think the biggest game changer would be Mario and Peach actually get married.
That would be crazy. That would be so
Because obviously
weird.
that's the plot of the game, is Bowser's trying to marry Peach. Not if you count the RPGs again. But since she's in that Waddle getup for it looks like a good chunk of the game, I'm like, yeah, Mario has this groom getup, so is that going to change the dynamic of Mario games going forward, or is that just going to be like, ha ha ha, they got married? Okay.
Hey, right? Wouldn't that be it? Or just like a little party and then nothing else? Like, oh, I'll wear a fancy suit and you wear your beautiful dress and that's it. We're not going to do anything. We'll just have a party. A Mario party! Yay!
And then Luigi shows up and wins by doing absolutely nothing.
Exactly. That's what Luigi does. You see, you got it, KirbyVolt. You got it. Alright, so that's pretty much all the games. So what was your opinion overall about this E3? E3 2017. How does it compare to last year?
Compared to last year the main focus was Breath of the Wild. There were a few games that they showed off, one that actually released just today on the 3DS that was actually kind of cool, and they showed that off a little bit at E3 last week as well during the Treehouse sections. But by the way, that game is Ever Oasis. Please go pick it up. It's adorable and it's fun. So
I heard about that.
So just that. There's my little spiel on that. Otherwise, the Kirby trailer was basically that was the main highlight. But I was just so surprised by the Mario Odyssey thing that I am crazily excited for that game. That's why I'm I can wait for Kirby because Mario Odyssey is coming out and I need to play that right now.
Yeah, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this, but Odyssey will be coming out in October. October 22nd. 27th. Thanks for the correction. October 27th. Mm-hmm. So, wow. So that's going to be coming out soon. And, yeah, overall, I think I agree. I think this E3 was a lot better. And it wasn't really hard to top last year because it's they put their standards so low with just showing Breath of the Wild. It's oh, yeah. It was so much easier to top it by just putting just a little bit of Kirby, just a little bit of this, a little bit of Mario, and Splatoon 2 is going to be coming out. They had a tournament at E3,
yep.
An ARMS tournament at E3. And also, let me ask you this. What did you think about them not having Smash Brothers at E3?
I'm fine with it, mainly because Smash Bros. is only 3 years old as far as the 3DS and Wii U version goes, and as it is, the Switch already has a pretty decent lineup, especially for this early in the system's lifespan. We already have ARMS that just came out, and Splatoon 2 is coming out next month, and although we don't care about it, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is coming out in August, so it already has a very solid lineup of original games that aren't just ports, and I feel at this point if they were going to show Smash, it was going to be a port, and honestly I could care less about a port of a game I already own. So I'd rather, if they're going to do a Smash, wait and make a new game.
Right, I understand that. Was also, I feel with Smash Brothers, it would have definitely overshadowed everything, and that's what would scare me, because it's we have a brand new Metroid game, and I know you don't really personally like Metroid games that much, KirbyVolt, but what I'm getting at is that with Metroid, if Smash Brothers was revealed, I feel those little games Metroid Samus Returns, they would be so overshadowed. It would be completely overshadowed by Smash Brothers. Everyone would be Smash Brothers, Smash Brothers, Smash Brothers. And I do want Smash Brothers to come on a Switch. I definitely think it's gonna happen. I definitely think that's gonna happen, but I don't think it's gonna happen now. Maybe next year, maybe early in the year. I don't really know, but I think it'll happen. But I just don't see it happening now, and I'm glad it didn't happen now.
Yeah, and I can wait. We already had a pretty good Smash Bros. As it is, so
exactly.
They can take as long as they want for new Smash Bros. As far as I'm concerned.
Whew. All right, so that was our podcast. Thank you so much, KirbyVolt, for joining. Is there anything else you want to say, before we get into ending information? Kirby 2018.
I like Kirby. Kirby 2018 is coming out. Get Mario Odyssey when it comes out. But if you have a 3DS right now, go buy Ever Oasis. I'm gonna keep plugging that game because
all right.
I should just keep plugging that. So sorry.
Thank you for bringing it up. Actually, let me go over the games. So I'm gonna just go over everything and just see what games we're both gonna buy. Okay. So
okay. We're
just gonna go over everything again, and you'll just say yes or no if you'll buy it or not. All right.
Okay.
Or you can say maybe. All right. So I'm gonna go over everything. Kirby 2018.
No, I'm kidding.
No,
yes.
Exactly. Yeah, of course. Come on, it's a given. KirbyVolt's not gonna get Kirby 2018. Yeah, come on. Let's be real. Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Definitely. Yes.
I'm personally not gonna get it. That's just how I feel. Pokemon RPG for Switch. We don't know much about it, but I'll probably get it.
I have no idea what it is, so I don't know.
I'll probably get it, to be honest. Oh, wow, I completely forgot about Pokken Tournament. Do you have anything to say about Pokken Tournament?
It's another port. In this case, that game was released later in the Wii U's lifespan, so I understand, but I already own it on the Wii U, so even with those 5 new characters, I don't really care that much to get another full-price game of the same thing I already own.
I totally understand that. I'm not going to get Pokken Tournament. I completely forgot to bring it up earlier, but that's probably a good thing. We probably wouldn't have had much to say anyway. Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to be getting Ultra Moon. And KirbyVolt, if you got it, which one would you get?
Ultra Sun. Because I don't make the mistake last time when I got White and then Black 2.
Got it. Pokemon Gold and Silver for the 3DS.
No. I'm good.
I'm getting both of them because I love Gold and Silver and Johto in general.
Are they not releasing Crystal?
No, and it makes sense why they're not releasing Crystal, because look at what happened with Red, Blue, and Yellow. Everyone was buying Yellow, and they weren't really buying Red and Blue, so it makes sense.
Fair enough.
Because everyone will be just getting Crystal, so it makes sense. Metroid Prime 4.
Maybe.
Yes! Metroid Samus Returns.
Maybe as well on that one, too.
Yes! Yoshi 2018.
My friend will probably get it, so I'll play with him.
Maybe. I'm probably going to get it. There's a high chance I'll get it, but I'm going to just say maybe, just in case. Fire Emblem Warriors. No.
No.
Yeah. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild expansion pass. He already got it. Kirby already got it.
I already got it.
I'm not going to get it, because I like Breath of the Wild, but I'm just not interested to play the DLC. It's just my opinion. Legend of Zelda Amiibo.
Already have them? And I got the Mario Odyssey amiibo, too, while we're at it.
Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. No.
No thanks.
Rocket League. I already said yes.
I'll think about it.
Super Mario Odyssey. Definitely not.
You're kidding.
No. I'm waiting for Mario Prime Federation Force. No, just kidding. I would get Super Mario Odyssey. I would definitely get it.
Yeah.
That was clearly a joke, in case you did not catch that.
I caught on.
Okay, good. Alright, so that is the end of our little spiel. Let's get into our ending information. So, for me, I'll plug in my stuff first. Thank you for watching Spider Chat. I'm SpiderStaryu everywhere. I'm on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, Nintendo Network. Not really many people use Miiverse anymore. Google+, Instagram. All of it is SpiderStaryu. So just look up SpiderStaryu. You'll find me, and you can add me on those places. KirbyVolt, where can we find you?
You can find me at KirbyVolt on Twitter. Otherwise, /KirbyVolt LPs on Facebook.com, and as well just KirbyVolt, my channel, on YouTube.
All right. Thank you so much, KirbyVolt, for joining me for this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
And really quickly, why don't you tell everyone what our outro music is going to be? And it's from Kirby Return to Dreamland.
This is Salad Skies, a very short song, but it always makes me giddy.
Salad Skies, Nutty Noon Realness. All right. Thank you so much, KirbyVolt, for joining me, and hopefully you guys enjoy Salad Skies, and that is the end of our episode. Thank you everyone so much for listening, and I will see you on the next episode. Goodbye!
Bye!